Coming up on the Angus Report, President Trump moves on top priorities. What does that mean for America's rural economy?
Stockmanship expert Kurt Pate offers advice on animal handling.
Maximizing genetic potential through reproductive technology.
How performance data fuels success for the Springvale Ranch in Montana. And one young cattlewoman's story about her start in the Angus breed.
This is the Angus Report. Hello and welcome to the Angus Report. I'm Bob Cervera.
And I'm Jenna McCrell, in this week for Crystal Albers.
Our top news this week. President Donald Trump, only weeks into his role as the nation's commander-in-chief, has all eyes on Washington, D.C., while the administration and Congress act on his slate of policy priorities. The president was quick to act on trade, removing the United States from negotiations over the Trans-Pacific Partnership and threatening action on the North American Free Trade Agreement. That's along with several other issues that have captured the agriculture community's attention and what the actions might mean for America's rural economy.
Well, it's definitely interesting because this is such a radical departure from where we have been. And it's bringing about a lot of optimism, especially from our membership and what we can accomplish. Really focused on regulatory reform and rolling back a lot of the burdens that we have seen from rules and regulations over the past several administrations. Leading our list is rolling back the Waters of the United States rule, WOTUS, which came out of EPA. When you look at the president's nominee to be the administrator of EPA, the Attorney General of Oklahoma, Scott Pruitt, he has a great track record of pushing back against EPA. And if we can roll back Waters of the United States, it's going to take a huge burden off of us as cattle producers and agriculture as a whole. We're looking at the trade agenda. Even though the president has pulled out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP, there is still a need for us to be able to improve our access into Japan. So we're going to look forward to working with him on whatever that vehicle may be. It very well may be a bilateral trade agreement. Another priority for us is also looking at comprehensive tax reform. Since there is a Republican in the White House and Republicans controlling Congress, this is the first time in over a decade that we've had a real opportunity to finally repeal the death tax.
Also among President Trump's first actions was issuing a freeze on any new federal rules or regulations currently pending from the Obama administration. It's an effort to give the president's appointees time to review the rules, including the USDA's Grain Inspection, Packers, and Stockyards Administration, or GIPSA rule. Drovers Cattle Network reports that this puts the rule on hold for 60 days, and the administration has until March 21st to take action on the latest GIPSA rules. Proposed changes to the Packers and Stockyards Act of 1921 were issued in mid-December and included similar language to what was part of a controversial debate in 2010. Proponents say the GIPSA rules will level the playing field for producers and restore market fairness, while opponents are concerned it would instead limit marketing options and fuel baseless litigation. For more on this story, visit gipsa.usda.gov.
Science and technology reign in today's agriculture industry. However, renowned stockman Kurt Pate reminds us that basic skills of animal handling and husbandry should always be top of mind on the ranch. He says that while management practices on the ranch have shifted through the generations, our future relies on a commitment of stockmanship and stewardship.
My grandparents, your grandparents, used to deal with animals almost on an hourly basis. Now, our mornings are spent on a computer or in a tractor, and so our basic animal handling skills have gone away. So we've now got to focus on those rather than it just a natural part of our way of living. There's three kinds of pressures that we use with working with animals. We have a driving pressure, we have a drawing pressure, and we have a maintaining pressure. So it's all about teaching people how to put the proper amount of pressure on animals to get the job done, but not to stress them while we're doing it. And animal welfare, animal handling, is a big part of our future. The better your skill level and the better your attitude gets with working cattle, the more good days you're going to have.
Pate is known throughout the beef business for his animal handling demonstrations, and you can learn more on his website, kurtpatestockmanship.com.
When winter weather hits, the ability for a feedlot to provide bedding to pens is a valuable tool to increase cattle comfort and performance. That's according to research in the Northern Plains that suggests that cattle-provided bedding gained faster and more efficiently than their non-bedded counterparts. In the study conducted in North Dakota at the Carrington Research Extension Center, the bedded cattle had heavier carcass weights and a greater percentage reaching USDA choice quality grade. The more valuable carcasses resulted in a $60 to $80 per head advantage, And those results agree with a summary of South Dakota and Colorado data showing a 7% improvement in gain and feed conversion when bedding was provided.
Advancing reproductive technologies has allowed beef producers to greatly improve pregnancy rates and genetic progress within the herd. Todd Bilby of Merck Animal Health explains that capturing elite cattle genetics and maximizing their potential through tools like in vitro fertilization and genomics bring a new wave of opportunity for cattle breeders.
Our toolbox, I think, is rich from an assisted reproductive technology standpoint. I mean, if you look, we've got artificial insemination started in the 50s, embryo transfer in the 70s, sex semen comes on in 2000s, in vitro fertilization in the 90s. It's not new tools, but we've really streamlined and perfected, or at least got much better at the pregnancy rates we can achieve and how we utilize these resources in our herds. One such way that we talked about is just using in vitro fertilization in conjunction with genomics and looking at genetically testing your herd, identifying your top females, and then from those top females, that's your nucleus herd, and being able to use in vitro fertilization because you can produce more embryos in a time span with the donor cow than you could through conventional superovulation and embryo flushing.
The future success of the Angus breed lies in its youth, the next generation that will lead the way to uncharted opportunity and potential. Equipping our young leaders with the knowledge they need to be successful is a mission behind the National Junior Angus Association. They achieve their goals through events and leadership activities throughout the year, including Raising the Bar conferences.
Raising the Bar, I think, is mostly oriented around learning the tools that you will need to be successful. We focus a lot on who you are and how you work well with others, and how to make sure that you are prepared for the next step in your career, whether it be college or a job or an internship or whatever it may be. And you get to get that connection with other juniors within your area. And I think that it's a more one-on-one basis for leadership building.
Angus youth have 2 opportunities to attend Raising the Bar this spring, March 2nd through the 5th in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and April 6th through the 9th in Des Moines, Iowa. Visit njaa.info to learn more.
When we return, a family ranch in Montana shares how it upholds a tradition of excellence.
Then how the 4-H program inspired a young cattlewoman to try her hand at showing Angus cattle.
Visit angus.media to continue watching this episode of the Angus Report.
The Angus Report is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the makers of Safeguard Cattle Dewormer. Healthy cattle perform better. Add Safeguard, add pounds. Contact your veterinarian or animal health supplier today.
This isn't a 9-to-5 job. So when you check the pens one last time, put away the tools, and make sure everything's ready to hand off to the night crew. It's not the clock that tells you the day is over. It's the confidence of knowing you got it right. It's having one less thing to worry about when the sun goes down. So when you see the signs of BRD, choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo from Merck Animal Health. Talk to your veterinarian about Zuprevo for BRD treatment.
I'm Jimmy Taylor, and my wife Tracy and I run Taylor Ranch, which is located near Cheyenne, Oklahoma. I use GMAX Advantage in my decision making in 2 different ways. The first way is as a culling tool. We collect blood on the heifers when they're 2.5 months old, so by the time I wean them, I've already got the genetic data in hand, and I can use that if we've got some outliers that don't need to stay in the herd. When we first started years ago, we were probably in the 15% range on prime grade. Our next to last load of steers went 55% prime, and the last group of steers we sent went a little under 58%. And that's dollars in our pocket. And when we make consumers happy, they want to buy more beef.
Learn more at GeneMaxAdvantage.com.
Today's beef consumer has questions. BQA has the answers. Your Beef Quality Assurance certification allows you to share a story that assures customers that you are responsibly raising a safe, wholesome, and healthy beef supply. Becoming BQA certified just became even more convenient with a new interactive training experience that is online and available 24/7. So what are you waiting for? Get started today by visiting bqa.org.
Good cattle, good people, a focus on customer service. McCabe Genetics of Elk City, Kansas is proud to offer 200 Angus and 50 Hereford bulls for sale private treaty this fall. Developed under real-world conditions, the bulls are 18 to 24 months of age and ready to go to work. Free delivery and satisfaction guaranteed. McCabe Genetics. Learn more at McCabeGenetics.com or call us at 620-332-4244. That's 620-332-4244.